Hi, and welcome back, everybody. Today I'm going to be going over The Amazing Spider Man 68, I believe. Yeah, 68. Can't really see it in this image. If you are listening on Spotify, then you don't know what image I'm talking about. In my YouTube channel, I'm going over through the same thing, and I do have an image of the cover, which has nothing to do with the story. So, just another cover that I'm assuming that so basically it's a guy standing over Spider-Man at gunpoint, holding him at gunpoint, and Spider-Man looks pretty beat up, and that's it. There's nothing really else to it. There's a little container next to him, but it could just be trash. I just haven't really looked at that. I'm assuming it's the finisher who was shown in the last issue at the very end, and is actually the first person that we see in this new issue. But other than that, it's just not really explained, and honestly, not that great of a cover in my opinion. That's what I'll leave it at that. But moving on to the story, we do have Teresa is looking at the finisher, and she's in tears. This is the guy that, and she this is what she explains. This is the guy that not only killed her parents, murdered her parents, but framed them um, as as agents of Red Skull. So not only murdered them, but messed with their reputations. Um, so immediately, no hesitation, she takes out her gun. She shoots him, I think, 3 times. Uh, but of course, he's a hologram. He's not actually there. And when we look inside his cell, it's a really nice cell. It's look pretty comfy. He's got a little bit of everything. He's got a bar, uh, but he's still a hologram. He's not actually there. But he's tells her to come on in, and he really wants to talk to her. He actually hired Chameleon to get her to come talk to him. So, and that's it. That's all we see of her and the finisher, which is weird because it's called the Chameleon Conspiracy, and it has nothing to do with that. Even though I guess so. Moving on. Now I'll go into it a little bit more, but moving on, we go back to Peter and Ned and Betty. They're all talking. Peter's still really surprised to see that Ned is alive, and he does go into his whole backstory of how he's alive, which sounds like a little bit of a lot of BS, honestly. But basically, he says, "Oh man, who's the one that convinced him? The original Hobgoblin convinced him, brainwashed him that he was the Hobgoblin, right? And the brainwashing was so good that when he got into a fight with Flash, they don't really explain too much detail. They just kind of put a little star next to it and give a reference of what book to read or to look to do some research. There's a lot of that in this, and I really don't like that. But he fought Flash, and Flash was able to knock him down, and he didn't understand how this human could knock him down if he's the Hobgoblin and he has increased strength. Um, so that got him thinking that maybe his serum was wearing off. Who knows what? Because in his head he is still the Hobgoblin. So he went and um, broke into one of the Green Goblin's hideouts, found some serum, drank it. Nothing happened, and he's confused. He doesn't know what's going on there. But before he can even do anything about that, he gets ambushed by a few henchmen. I forgot whose henchmen they are. Honestly, it's a bad review if I can't say that. I'm sorry, but I mean, this review recap is to kind of get you to read it, right? So, anyways, um, these henchmen catch him, they beat him up, they torture him, they kill him. In the end, everything he says medically, physically, visually, he's dead. And they buried him and everything. But then that goblin serum that he drank did its job and brought him back to life. And of course, as soon as he digs himself out of the grave, there's somebody there standing, waiting, and helped him out. And eventually, he reaches out to Betty with secret information, and they meet up, and that's how they made a baby. And that just sounds made up, you know. It sounds too coincidental, even in a comic book world, and that's what Peter's thinking. And so, but basically, he's like, I'm not even gonna worry about that. Why did you guys call me in here? Why? What do you need from me? And they bring him in on the fact that they know that the foreigner is working on something called the clairvoyant, which was created by an ESU student. Obviously, Peter already knows this. Jamie, he is helping Jamie currently to try to develop this clairvoyant. So as soon as he hears this, he immediately jumps up and he says, "I need to go. I'll be back." And he thinks Jamie's in trouble. So he rushes back to ESU, where um, Jamie is currently trying to steal uh, Professor Connor's, aka the Lizard, his access card to get into the room with the catalyst and steal that to power the clairvoyant. Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot going on right there. He doesn't even for a second think that Jamie could be the bad guy here. He just immediately assumes that Jamie's in trouble and he needs to go help him. Just a little detour here. There is an ad in the middle of this that says that Kindred will make his move in issue 71. It's about time. And I swear, if Nick Spencer does this and then we go through this storyline and it's still an unanswered question, I may have to just drop Amazing Spider-Man and get my Spider-Man kicks out of Nonstop, because Nonstop is fine. Nick Spencer, if he doesn't finish this Kindred storyline, he's gonna ruin Amazing Spider-Man for me. But anyways, moving on to Jamie. He's there to steal the card, which honestly, that's very courageous. He's stupid for doing it, and his reasons are dumb. But Professor Connors is in his lizard form, and he's going in here to steal his card, and he does it. He does everything correct. He goes into this bathroom. He meets up with some guy named Slide. I've never heard of Slide before. I don't know where he comes from, but apparently he can. He's very nimble, I would say. Um, but they start talking and they go over a plan on how to steal the catalyst, which is currently being guarded because of the Lethal Legion trying to steal it before. And then there's another reference card telling you to go back to issue so and so to go figure out that storyline. So in the bathroom, Jamie and Slide are talking over this plan, and they basically come up with Jamie's gonna distract the guards. Slide's gonna go in there, do his thing, and if anything should go wrong, Chance and the Foreigner are outside with a bunch of goons. Um, I don't know what to call them because they're the jack o' lanterns with the flaming heads. I don't know if they're even people or they could just be like an electronic android or something. I'm not 100% sure, but because they got fire on their head. I don't know why they would do that. Anyways, that's the backup plan. And for the most part, everything works perfectly. Jamie does what he needs to do. Um, Slide's about to get away with it. And then in comes Spider Man, breaks through the door. Or no, he breaks through the wall, I think. And he immediately is like, Jamie, watch out. And tackles Slide. But Slide, slips right through his hands. But he's like, you know what, Slide is a disturbance and annoyance, but he's nothing I can't handle on his own. And as soon as he says that, right behind him, the Foreigner, Chance, and a bunch of those Jack O' Lantern goons show up, and that's how it ends. He's like, "Oh, ooh, I don't know what to do now." And that's how it ends. And so, for the most part, it's pretty entertaining. I want to give this a 6.8, just because nothing happens, but it's entertaining. A little positive negative is the fact that Peter can't put two and two together. Like it's positive in the fact that Peter's always seeing the good in people. Negative in the fact that Jamie has already been acting weird. In the last issue, we saw that he was desperate to get this started. He was mad at Peter for not telling him about the power source. So why is he not putting two and two together here and saying Jamie is not being real? He is being coerced, but he's his arm's not being twisted that hard. Basically, he wants to do this. Um, Another positive is things are moving forward, but why is Ned here? I don't understand that. It could be the whole part of the chameleon conspiracy. This is what I was talking about in the beginning. This Ned could be part of whatever chameleon's plan is, but we're not getting that yet. And It's just weird. I don't know. I don't see his part in this yet, other than the fact that Hobgoblin's gonna come back for the Sinister War coming up. But I don't know. I'm not connecting that dot. I'm sure once it gets revealed, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, of course. But for now, I can't figure it out. So that mystery for me is a positive. It at least keeps me coming back. And negatives, we only saw Teresa and the finisher once. We and the chameleon. It was at the very beginning. It was like a page, maybe two, and that was it. If this is the chameleon conspiracy, so why is he not showing up? Why is the chameleon not there? I feel like the chameleon conspiracy does involve Teresa, so why is she not back in the story? This is a very quick issue, honestly. It was a quick read, so I just want more of that, and yeah, I didn't get it, so it's a negative. And the other negative is just a bunch of references. I can deal with references, but the fact that they kept putting little notes saying like, "Oh, look back at ASM this or ASM 200, whatever," and it's like if you can't tell a story without referencing a million things, don't tell that story or simplify the story. In my opinion, I guess um, Spider-Man does have a huge history, so there is no escaping that. There's gonna be some things you want to reference that people need to see, but so now I'm just kind of changing my mind as I talk right now. But I don't know. I still didn't like it, but I understand, I guess. So either way, in my understanding, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. So there's that. The next thing that happens is they show the little prelude to Sinister War with Otto. He's on some island. He doesn't really have any dialogue at all, but we just see him show up with, or not show up with, he's walking around this island, and out of nowhere, Sandman shows up. They look at each other. They kind of, I don't know. They don't really, like I said, they don't talk. So something goes on between them. But now we know Kindred is narrating, and he's like, "All right, that's one down, five more to go, or four more to go, to do the Sinister Six." So that's coming up. That's exciting. I can't wait to read that, even though it has nothing to do with the Amazing Spider-Man, um, Chameleon Conspiracy, or anything like that. But it is something to look forward to. So all in all, quick read, good, entertaining. Need more Teresa. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I need more of her. I need more of Chameleon. Don't call it Chameleon Conspiracy if it's not gonna have him. But now that I think about it, they are making the whole one shot to finish the story off. So I don't like that. Either way, I'm gonna finish off here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Again, you can watch on YouTube or you can listen on Spotify, Google, Apple, and Anchor. I added Apple in there. So, um, yeah. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.